Everyone get out!
Greetings, programs! Time for a bit more Crusader Kings 2. And where we left off was I'd taken the Western Isles and basically consolidated a bit, moved my capital because now I have a bit of a problem now that I've got a little bit more land, but yeah, Cumberland is going to be an issue because, as we can see from, if I look at the county title there, it's in my kingdom, but it's also in the it's part of the de jure kingdom. It's basically part of the default kingdom of England. So that's the current king. That's basically all the King of England's holdings, but that's part of the de jure holding. So basically, he's got a claim to go to war against me, and that is a bit of a problem because he can beat me quite easily. However, I have a cunning plan, and it's going to involve a bit of subterfuge. As you can see from the thicker lines, that denotes where the borders are between his various vassals. And we can see right away that something like half of England, the entire north of England, is basically held by a single vassal. So if I can get that guy to split off and just generally be annoying to his liege. Now it's going to be tricky because he's got a 62. That's his opinion of his king, but his king doesn't like him very much. So yeah, I'm going to basically send my spy down there and hopefully foment a bit of dissent. Now I think I want build spy network, or is it scheme? I think it might be scheme. I'm not entirely sure because I don't use my spy that often. So I think it is that one, because study technology, that's not going to be it. No, apparently I can't. We'll try build spy tech. Apparently scheme you can only use within your own country. I don't tend to use the spy master actively that often. More often it's the study technology, but this time we're going to have to try and, I don't know, do something to split that guy off from his leash, because at the moment that is a big threat. Scotland's looking alright. Otherwise, we can see my income is, well, at the moment it's saying minus 107 because I've still got the after effect of those mercenaries. The game hasn't yet caught up with the fact that I don't have mercenaries any longer. So, yeah. But the Cumberland problem is also the fact that this guy is the son of this guy. That's his heir. And so if England takes Cumberland and he basically becomes a vassal of England. Once he inherits the Duchy of Lothian, I'll have lost Lothian to the English as well. So that is something I don't want to happen. I've still got plans to make moves into Ireland. So I'll actually send my Chancellor to go and fabricate some claims in Ulster. And while I'm at it, I might as well plonk some other council members down as well, because why not? Oh, this is interesting. This is one of the new events that came with the Sons of Abraham. So it's basically a new courtier that's arrived, but he will be a Jewish courtier. I imagine if I put him in the council, I mean, we'll just take a look at the guy, because it's actually worth every so often just flicking through to see if you have someone. Right, for instance, this guy, as it turns out, has got a martial score of 11. He's actually got a stewardship skill of 16, so he'd be a really good steward, but steward even. But if I make him my steward, it might... I don't know, let's see what happens. Because, oh, actually, no, there is actually someone who's even better qualified. That guy's got stewardship of 20. Yes, please. Collect taxes. We'll still have him in Gowrie, because that's, I think, one of my highest tax province. We'll appoint him as my marshal, because 12's pretty respectable. Research military tech. We'll have him. Yeah, we'll have him research military tech as well, because that's quite useful. And we'll just check the other positions. The rest are all fairly good. Court chaplain might not seem like they do that much, but actually they've got a couple of functions. They can help spread the speed of technology increase in your realm, but also if you want to convert your court members to a different religion. If you have your chaplain as a member of the religion you're trying to convert people to, then they will do that work for you, rather than you having to demand religious conversion, which can cause a bit of friction. We don't have anyone better for the post of Chancellor. Marshal, we know we've got the best, and Spy Master, we've got the best. So it is always worth checking. The downside is the person that you replace as whatever council member, they basically don't like you quite as much after that, because you fired them, basically. They're not very fond of that. But you can get events popping up saying, I'm much better qualified to be on the council than that guy, so you can sometimes be forced into making that decision and just annoying somebody either way. So I think we'll skip ahead a bit here, because there's not that much doing. Hopefully England won't just suddenly declare war on me. That is a strong possibility. There's a bit of an internal war going on against Teviotdale there, and Soraya is also at war with... Wow, they're involved in a Welsh war for some reason. I've also got a bunch of messages up there, as you can see. I can actually create a duchy, but I don't have enough money yet. Oh, actually, talking of... before we do skip ahead, I've got one held duchy at the moment, which, as you can see, is the Duchy of Moray, which encompasses the entire north of Scotland, basically. But I've not got that one particular province yet, Caithness. So what I can do is I can create this guy. I can basically elevate him to be a duke, and he'll like me better. It won't really cost me anything. It will actually give me more prestige, because I'll have an extra duke as a vassal, and because these are directly held counties, it will, it's not changing anything. He's still my direct vassal at the moment. It's just I'll have an extra duke. And when you're a king, if you actually hold too many ducal titles, it can have a negative effect on your vassal opinion of you. If you've got like 3 or 4 duchies held, then it tends to start lowering their opinion, and it can even end up with basically civil wars where people are demanding that you give them a certain title, and if you don't comply, they basically go to war with you. So we don't want that. Anyway, that's the duchy created. Things are ticking along nicely otherwise, so we'll just skip ahead here, and if something interesting happens, I will come back in. So here's an interesting little event. It is possible to fall in love with your spouse. It's funny, the lover mechanic and the spouse mechanic are actually kind of separate things. So you can basically be carrying on an affair with somebody. You can be in love with somebody else and be married to a totally different person. But it's possible for them to be the same person. Generally, you want to go for it, because if you say no, then you basically annoy them a bit, and it doesn't really have any benefits as such. But if you say yes, then you can get positive effects further down the road, so that's always nice. Nothing else happening really at the moment. We're back in a positive balance though. We're actually doing okay. We're 86 gold a year, which is 7.2 gold a month, so that's not bad. That's actually a pretty healthy income, all things considered. So yeah, back to the skipping ahead, back to the fast forward, because there's nothing doing otherwise. Okay, we are, unfortunately, I've noticed a thing. Duke Morcar is now, yeah, he really likes King Harold, so I've started a plot against him, and this is a thing you can do against characters. You can, basically, if you, in this case it's to assassinate him. You start a plot, you have plot power, and once the plot power gets high enough, you can basically, you start getting events initiated from that. So I'm going to invite people to join my plot, and that gives plot power. So we can see there, you can basically, depending on how much they like you, and also how much they'll actually add to the plot power. And because this guy is a foreigner, and a couple of people there you can actually bribe. Because the guy's a foreigner, the more people are for it than not, and it'll be really useful, because if I bump him off, then his son might not like the King of England quite so much, so we'll just invite some people to the plot, basically, and see how that goes. So, yeah, let's invite him. That's another 14%. That should jump up. Of course, we are running on fairly slow speed at the moment. Okay. 47%. We can add that guy. That's another 8%. And it's kind of like you have the option, if you click on a character, you have the option generally of you can just straight up send an assassin, but it is the case that and there we go, assassination chance +8 as well. I don't know if that has an effect when you're plotting, but you can straight up send an assassin, which is expensive, but plots are an alternative way to dispose of people you don't like, or scheme to get titles off people, or just generally cause a bit of mayhem, basically. So we're up to 47%. That'll jump it up a bit more. Who else will join in? That guy. So let's unpause it. 61%. I think we're going to have no problem in terms of actually initiating this. Earl of Shrewsbury, let's have him in. Now, some of these, not all of these people are actually my vassals. Some of them are, I think, in... You can see there, some of them are actually in England. So he's clearly not got a lot of fans within England itself. In fact, I think they're all English. So I'm basically... I'm starting a plot against this guy with some of his underlings, some of his courtiers. So this is quite good. So that guy's 13%. We'll add him to the plot. I think we're going to have... Oh, there we go. 102%. We might as well just keep adding plot power, because I think the more people you have involved, the more likely it is to actually succeed. I think I haven't actually used plots that much, so I might as well just add as many as I can. Who else? He's a 5%. Not much, but might as well add him. And is there anyone else that will just join? No questions asked. I think that's it. So, yeah, no more green thumbs. There's a couple I could bribe, but it doesn't matter that much. We've got more than enough to actually... I could have just clicked that, actually. I think it would have invited everybody that was interested, or would it have just... I don't know if it would have just been a blanket invite to everyone that was relevant. But now we just wait to see what happens, basically. We should now get a pop-up at some point, now that we've got enough plot power, and it will actually... I could bribe somebody, but nah, there's no point. You can basically, if there's someone that's got... that would particularly bring in a lot of plot power, you can basically improve your relation with them, try and bribe them into joining. Some people are kind of on the fence anyway, but some people, even if they've got the red thumbs down, you can still, if you flatter them enough or bribe them or whatever, you can get them to join in anyway. But it's a lot easier for your own vassals, because you have more options for your own vassals. So yeah, hopefully I can bump that guy off. His son is only 8 years old, and if the Normans had conquered England, this would actually be a lot easier, because then you've got differing cultures going on. But oh, College of Cardinals, does that do anything at all? No, I have no idea. Okay, it's just a random event it's told me about. But yeah, in this case, we've got more than enough plot power to be going on with. So I might actually have enough. Yeah, I can create the Duchy of Albany now, and that's another duchy I can bestow upon somebody. So at the moment I'm the Duke of Albany, and elective succession in Scotland. Ooh, no, we don't want that. Who is the most loyal of these vassals? Basically, you generally want to give it to somebody who's the most loyal. And they all three of those guys are going to be desiring this title, but we'll give it to we'll give it to this guy, Duff McDuff. I think is it Duff McDuff? Yeah, it is Duff McDuff. So grant landed title, Duchy of Albany. He'll get those two guys as vassals. Hopefully they won't just like revolt against him. Now, I have actually lost my Chancellor, because my Chancellor was obviously from one of those courts, so that is a bit unfortunate. Sometimes these things can happen if, like me, you don't especially pay attention. The next best guy's only got 8, so we'll just go with him, but that will improve his opinion of me, the fact that he's been promoted to a council position. That is also a thing I've just noticed, I've got -10 because I've got a female heir. I did actually have Princess Cithella. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, she is sickly, so um, there's a fairly decent chance that she'll die, which is not uncommon. Oh! Things are happening. My co-conspirator Yadvig has procured a poisonous viper and sends word it will soon dig its fangs into Duke Morcar. Excellent. So that's going to go ahead. Hopefully, if it's successful, Duke Morcar will die. And his heir, well, it's hard to tell how well disposed his heir is to the king, because we only see, you only ever see their opinion towards their liege, and in this case, his liege is obviously his father, because he's in his father's court. So, yeah. Oh, yes, he's dead. Success. Serpent was caught, and the cell has revealed my complicity. So, he's not gonna like me very much. Opinion of me, -12. Well, I did kill his father, so all things considered, I'm surprised he doesn't dislike me more, unless he just didn't like his dad very much. So he's got +34 with the king, and yeah, we'll see how it goes from there. But that's how plots work. We'll see how my relations are with... See, if I can't send a gift because I don't have enough cash. I wonder if there's anything I can do to increase relations between our two courts. If I pick Prince of England, a Neutling, apparently he's a Danish prince. How does he relate to the... I don't know. Oh, okay. Okay, it's on. Okay, yeah, there we go. Cumberland. I kind of thought they might do that at some point. So, what we'll do, and what it is always a fairly decent idea to do, is go to the ledger and have a look at what your enemy's forces are going to be like. So, if I, let's see, we're looking for... Yeah, that's definitely alphabetical order. I was going by empires and then it's going by... Okay, never mind. Kind of is, but kind of isn't. That's a bit confusing. Let's just search by army size and... Okay, 11,000 troops. Scotland is... Yeah, we're quite far down on that list. Right, a thing we might need is mercenaries. I don't have... I'm not up to my maximum limit yet in terms of what I can raise from my personal domains. I also haven't raised any retinues yet. Retinues are interesting. They're basically standing troops. You raise them and you pay for them up front, and they are actually quite expensive, as you can see from there. But they only cost you money when they're reinforcing up to full strength, and once they've reinforced up to full strength, they're basically free. But the initial cost and the cost while you're reinforcing means that they are quite expensive. I've only got enough... there's also like a limit cap, basically. Each one of these retinues costs a certain number of cap points as well as actual money. So we see there, that's 900. That's 1,000 for 500 pikemen. We can't even get a cavalry retinue because that's 1,200 and we don't have that much cap. So I could spend gold just now on getting some, but they would start off with it starts off with literally one guy, and then it kind of goes up to its full limit of 500. But once you get later in the game and that retinue cap gets bigger, it can be really, really useful because it's basically a standing army that, once it's fully reinforced, doesn't cost you anything. So yeah, what mercenaries are available now? This is kind of tricky because I don't have enough money for the larger groups of mercenaries. I can, however, afford a smaller group of mercenaries, but I don't have that much money to spare because I created that duchy, and kind of wishing I hadn't now. This might be... Okay, this might all go horribly wrong. I might lose Cumberland, and then subsequently I might even lose the Duchy of Lothian, unless I start a plot to bump this guy off as well, which is Yeah, I can. If it comes to that, I will maybe see about assassinating him also. But yeah, that could be a bit tricky. He is. I don't know what to do about this guy. That. If I can split England, that makes my life considerably easier. Also, I've noticed I was fabricating a claim over in. Oh, I know what I could do. I was fabricating a claim, but if I send my Chancellor in, so descent. That's how you split a vassal off from their liege. You send in your Chancellor, not your spy master. Okay, okay. So that's that done. A bit too late, I realised that. But anyway, we'll... I could have just clicked raise vassal levies there, actually. That would have been quicker. Right, we'll group all those guys into Gowrie, and we'll raise my own levies as well. So it's not much. And when you raise your vassals, well, just levies generally, they start off with the minimum amount of basically morale. And because the Duke of Lothian is having basically an internal war against this guy, I don't have access to his troops, or at least some of his troops, I think. Also, because I have minimum crown authority, I think it is, I don't really get many vassal troops either. That's the higher your crown authority, then the more troops you can raise from your vassals effectively. Oh good, he's called France in as well. That's just what we needed. God damn it, France, what about the old alliance? Oh wait, that was actually... Okay, we're probably about 200 years too early for that, but still. God damn it, France, I thought we were friends. Anyway. That's the point of this game, is you can rewrite history and things go very, very differently. So that's 4,000 troops I've got access to. We'll actually pull them slightly back into Moray and just see what happens. I think, see, even just having troops raised that has significantly... I'm not into negative money yet, but that's about half my income. Once I actually get some mercenaries involved, that's going to increase my income again, decrease my income again even. The main problem is they've got basically significantly more armies than me, and no one else is... Oh, just to add insult to injury, my heiress died. Well, okay. I think there's a very good chance I'm going to lose this war. My only real chance is if these guys split up, and I can tackle one army at a time, but just... If I charge in against this army, quite apart from the fact that it is a bigger army, they will just march in that army and I'll be completely overwhelmed. So it's a bit pointless at the moment to try doing that. But if they split up, then I've got a chance, although it does require getting some mercenaries. But I'll wait until that has actually happened oh, good, because there's French coming in now as well, to get some mercenaries. But I think I am just actually screwed, the fact that there are French troops coming in as well. Yeah, that's an extra 2,000 men that the French have come in with. That is now an army of 8,000, so I pretty much have no chance. I don't think my... do I? No, I don't. I can't even appoint, because I've got minimum crown authority. I can't even put leaders in charge of armies. Like, that guy's only got 5, which is pretty bad. So it's... yeah, that's another disadvantage. You really want to try and get crown authority up as much as you can, but of course your vassals don't like it, so it's a kind of a long and slow process. So yeah, oh well, okay. Are there any other troops I can raise at this point? Let's see, 53 more there. Sometimes you're not able to raise all of your troops at once, kind of thing. Right, okay, they're rapidly winning that siege, which is not really a surprise. I've managed to squeeze a few extra troops out of my vassals, but it's not really going to be enough, I don't think. I'm doing okay for money. I think it was 150 gold needed for some of the bigger mercenary companies, but of course, once you've got them, they also cost money to maintain, and that's the expensive part. If you have a mercenary company and you actually run out of money to pay them, they basically can turn on you and start attacking you, and looting your provinces, and that's not very nice. So yeah. Okay, that army is now 11,000, so that's wow, that's quite a big French army there. In fact, the French have reinforced, so there's now yeah, yeah, there's 11,500 English and French troops, and that's 8,000 troops there. So that's, and the French are bringing in even more. So basically, I'm screwed. Is what's happening right now. I could just concede defeat, but I don't want to go down without at least trying to fight a little bit. Well, that's useful. I've gained one marshal, and that's fulfilled that ambition. We'll go for stewardship as the next one, because sometimes with these things, if you're at 7 stewardship, which is just below the threshold of 8, where you can actually, once you get to 8, you don't get the ambition to improve things anymore. But if you're at 7, sometimes the events give you +2, so you can go from 7 to 9 rather than to 8. Anyway, they're kind of split up, but I don't fancy my chances, you guys. I think this might just be a tremendous waste of money. We'll try. What's my... I mean, these guys, 150 monthly cost. That's going to put me, at the moment, that's going to put me down by like 3 gold a month. But I'm not exactly, you know, that's... I've only got them for a couple of months, effectively. So, yeah, that's not too clever, really, is it? We don't want to do that and then just run out of money and then have a bunch of angry mercenaries running around the country as well. I don't know, let's give it another month maybe. And I mean, they're kind of split up at the moment, but they're still quite close together. And the more of my country, I mean, minus 44%. I don't think there's any way I can win this one, unsurprisingly. I think this is always a war I was going to lose, unfortunately. Now let's hire the Swiss band. We'll march them over. I'm going to start losing money from this point. Yeah, minus nearly 5 gold. So let's make this one desperate, futile attempt to beat them, and then yeah, it's a pity this isn't. In EU4, there are several country-specific events that can happen, and one of them is if you're playing as the Scottish and the English invade. Basically, what happens is you get a bunch of free troops periodically. There's a kind of a random event that happens. Oh, that's quite nice. An outbreak of disease has killed off a bunch of the people attacking Dunbar. So, my one hope is that they suffer enough attrition from all these sieges, because especially if you're sieging with big armies, attrition can be a real killer. And it's the case that if you get lucky, attrition will kill off a bunch of the attacking troops, especially if they're attacking winter, and it is actually getting now towards winter. But they're at 46% win. 46. I always said 40% win rate there, but I can't even say 46% apparently. No, they're just gonna move in. Okay, never mind. Let's move my troops out there as soon as humanly possible. No, we retreated from that, and they might now just hunt down my army, because that's a no. That's a thing that can happen. If they get the chance, then they'll just chase down your army, and that's that. But no, I was basically never in with a chance of winning this, was I? They're just going to march down my army now. That's it. We've lost. Minus 94%. Sometimes a couple of military defeats. I mean, 19,000 men. We had no chance of winning this, really. If I'd let attrition run it out, then yeah, accept. Oh well, we're not going to have tasty sausages anymore. So it remains that, yeah, I'm going to have to kill him off. I don't want to particularly, but we're going to have to assassinate this guy. We'll move my where are you? We'll move my my spy master into Cumberland, because that will increase the assassination chance. And we're gonna have to bump this guy off, because I don't want to. If I run the risk that this goes into, I mean, at the moment his heir is actually the Duke of Lothian. So also just disband those troops. The case, what will happen is that if he dies, then I will actually, he'll re-inherit that. But that just puts me back in square one in that I will then be vulnerable to attack from England again. But if I hold, well, I don't know. I don't think there's anything much I can do about it. But next time round, it will be if he holds on to that particular province, then the King of England will just take it back, basically. So, yeah, I'm reluctantly going to have to kill this guy. I don't really want to, but I'm going to have to if I've got basically any chance of... no, for some reason they're not really very keen on that idea. The Mayor of Penrith. 128 plot power and can be bribed. I think this is the guy I want on my side here. If I send him a gift, send him 20 gold. A couple of guys have been imprisoned there, but I can't really do anything about that. Right, right. His opinion has gone up of me. So if I invite him to plot, yes, 128 plot power. So this is the kind of case where sometimes a little sprinkling of gold can help things along, especially if it's someone that brings a lot of plot power to the table. And because he isn't a Scottish guy, he's actually one of those guys within Cumberland itself. That is yeah, I've got now 171 plot power just from having 2 people in the plot. I could also try and bring somebody else in just to really stick it to that guy. Poisoned wine, oh goody. Well, not oh goody. I don't really want to kill this guy. I just don't have much of a choice. But it's yeah, I'm basically I kind of have to. If I want to keep the country secure, because if I lose the Duchy of Lothian as well, that's going to be the entire south of Scotland gone, and that's not good. So how's my efforts in Hereford going along? I've not had any events so far, but that's slightly down. Oh, well, we failed, but that just means we try again, basically. Yeah, he's slightly down on from raised levies, because he raised his armies to attack me, basically. And there's still a French army sticking around. There we go. And we're just going to keep trying until we either succeed or the other thing. I don't know what the other thing is, but yeah. Also, I really hope I have an heir soon. I'm getting on a bit. 53. If I don't... the main problem is that my wife is chaste, so it's minus 15% fertility. But she's had 2 kids already, so we know it's possible. It's just they've unfortunately both been sickly, and they've both died, and that's kind of annoying. Yes, right. So this is an able demonstration of basically why paying attention to the inheritances and everything like that in this game really important, because even though England won that war, thrashed my armies, I was able to kill a guy, and voila, Cumberland is now back in my plot. In my country, and I've also got a few years leeway because I effectively have, you can see there, truce for 10 years, so I've got 10 years breathing space basically to figure out what to do with Cumberland, or else I'll just success! Earl Dolphin was caught in a deadly arrow crossfire between the scroll depository and a grassy knoll. The story we concocted about a lone bowman seems to be working perfectly. Yeah, you gotta love those little touches of humour that Paradox put in their games. So, we've had a war. We lost Cumberland, but then we got it back through a bit of able assassination, a bit of bribery, and that's what I like about this game, is that you can do that kind of thing, which is just not a feature of the Paradox games that are set in later times at all. It's got that personal touch about it, and that's why I think I said in my first video, I think that's why it makes it the most accessible of the grand strategy games that Paradox have published, because you've got all these different elements that it's a lot more personal. It's a lot more about the characters involved rather than the kind of more dry concepts of nation states and things like that. So we've had this has been some ups and downs. I think we'll we'll finish off this video here. It seems like a good place to do it. We've covered 8 years of game time, so we're in 1078 now. We haven't even reached 1100 yet, but I haven't been playing on fantastically fast speeds, and these games, I mean, the number of events that pops up, you can have, a decade that goes past that's totally uneventful, or you can have a year where just everything happens at once. That's just the nature of the game, and also a nature of actual history. I'm guessing that's what they were aiming for, to give it that feel of certain periods of history were a lot more interesting, shall we say, than others in terms of the amount of stuff happening, although you wouldn't have necessarily wanted to live in those times. So, if you did enjoy this video, you can hit the like button, you can leave a comment below, you can subscribe to my channel, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.